Can you mail a handgun through the post office? Until now, the answer has been no. And if you tried, federal crime, going to jail for 2 years, and that would really, really suck. But everything is changing, and the USPS is trying to catch up with the Constitution. So we're going to jump into it. And I hit the wrong one. All right, let me just start out by saying that I did a pre-recorded video, and then when I looked at it, I had myself muted the whole entire time. I didn't feel like doing it all over again. So we're doing it live, which is okay. All right, so if you subscribe to Crump Alerts, if you go to crumpalerts.com, you got this early this morning with the actual rule in there. But we're going to go over the rule, and we're going to talk about why they might have decided to do this. But this is a pro-gun rule through the post office. If you are not aware, I'm just going to refer to my notes because I wrote a whole freaking script that's now useless, but that's fine. But there is a law in the books called 18 U.S.C. Section 1715 that flat out prohibited mailing what they considered sellable firearms. That includes your pistols, and that includes your revolvers, any type of handgun, basically. On January 15, 2026, the Department of Justice Office for Legal Counsel, OLC for short, set out a memorandum opinion, and the opinion stated that Section 1715 could not survive a constitutional challenge, and there has been lawsuits. GOA is currently suing over Section 1715. They said that 1715 was unconstitutional as applied to constitutionally protected firearms and could not survive a Second Amendment challenge. So that happened in January. The post office is now catching up. Tomorrow, a rule is going to be published that is dealing with that. And we're going to get into what the rule
is
says.
Is this an ATF rule or a post office rule?
USPS.
Okay.
ATF has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
So this is what the actual rules says. Lawful handguns would now be reclassified as mailable firearms. And there's still a few rules you have to comply with. The first rule is that the firearm must be unloaded. So that is critical. And they can ask you to open up the package or have you certify in writing that the firearm is unloaded.
So meaning magazine and chamber.
Yeah, magazine and chamber. Nothing outside the package can say firearm, which if I ship in a firearm, I'm not going to write, there's a gun in the box, because that would be just incredibly dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have tracking and confirmation signature at delivery, so it doesn't get dropped off on the porch. Everything must comply with the GCA of 1968, the gun control law of the Gun Control Act of 1968. You have to follow state laws, local ordinances. The USPS's rule does not override any of that stuff.
Okay.
So if your state restricts firearm transfers, you can't mail it to someone else to get around the, universal background.
If there's an age limit or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So this is what it means for you. A regular gun owner, not a dealer, not a manufacturer, can mail firearms. You can mail firearms to yourself. Let's say you're moving or you're traveling, you can send it ahead. Mailable, but you still have to have the tracking and signature confirmation. You can mail it to another person for lawful purposes. There is a in the care of endorsement requirement. Basically, what that means is I ship something to Rich, I say in the care of. The only person that's allowed to open that package is Rich, not his neighbor, not his wife, not his roommate. It has to be opened by Rich. How are they going to know that? I don't know. You can mail a handgun directly to a licensed FFL for repair, transfer, or for whatever lawful purposes that they're
I could
made.
marry. I could mail a gun to Frag out for laser work, and he could mail it back to me.
Correct. Now, this is where it get touchy on the FFL part. Licensed manufacturers, dealers, and importers, they can mail handguns between each other without restriction. So they don't need tracking. They don't need signature. It's recommended, but they don't need it. Like Curio and Relics people, CNR licensed collectors, can mail CNR handguns to other licensed collectors. So they don't have to go through, FFL.
Barrel rifle, short barrel shotgun.
We're going to get to that. NFA items, machine guns, you get short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and so-called undetectable firearms, which always makes me laugh. They actually have this in there. Any firearm that's not detectable by X-ray.
Glock 7. So just Glock 7s that we're talking about.
You can't mail those. So NFA items and anything that can't be detected by metal detectors or X-rays.
Can't be mailed.
Can't be mailed. And by the way, if you're getting some content out of this and you like what I do here, you can go ahead, ring that bell, turn on all notifications, and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. You can also head over to crumpalerts.com and sign up for $19.99. You can get all this stuff mailed to you in your inbox before I break it on here. You get documents.
You could tell when there's a 6-3 Supreme Court decision before
you would be
there's
able
a
to tell
video
if
on.
there's actually a 6-3 Supreme Court decision. But getting back into this, okay. So where's this now? Tomorrow, the rule is going to hit the Federal Register, and there's going to be a 30-day comment period from April 2nd to May 2nd, and that's your deadline to comment. Now, the USPS was very, very specific on what they want. They're not looking for comments whether the OLC opinion was right or whether handguns should be mailable under the Second Amendment. It's not about that. That debate's over as far as the rulemaking process goes. What they're actually asking for is feedback on clarity. Is the rule easy to understand? Is there potential gaps in the rule? Are there things that need to be clear for the average person to comply? And for FFLs, if you see a problem, of course you comment. If you see anything with the CNR regulations provisions that need to be clear, comment. If you have an operational concern, comment. This is, your shot to get everything squared away. The comment, the rule number is 2026, which is the year, and then the rule number. So it's 2026-06376. This is the 6,376th rule that has been submitted to the Federal Register. So go ahead over to the Federal Register and you can comment on that. Now, I've been covering Second Amendment law for a long time, and the fact that you cannot mail a handgun, but you can mail a rifle, shotgun, whatever, has been ludicrous to me. It's not constitutionally sound. And the DOJ finally said what needed to be said, and the USPS is now trying to catch up.
Well, also that I can't buy a handgun in another state is kind of crazy also.
Yeah, that's being challenged too. But this is a win on paper, but like I always says, the devil is in the implementation. So we're gonna have to watch the USPS counters very closely. We need to see how USPS handles this at the actual counter, at the actual place of the transaction taking place.
So Dark just texted me. He says, "Hold on." He said you cannot ship NFA items.
Not through the USPS.
So can you ship NFA items through FedEx, or
it depends on their policies?
Okay.
I don't think they allow you. I think you have to go to a dealer to do that. But whatever. I'm kind of curious to see what the comments are and whether there's any state pushback on this. That's what I'm really curious about. But why are they doing this now? GOA was about to win a case which would have knocked down the law. I mean, so I think the memorandum was supposed to try to moot the case. That didn't work. But now they are going to go ahead and try to moot it through a rule change, so they can go back to the court and say rule change. A lot of times there's I would say a 45 to 90-day window to comment. A 30-day window, that what makes me suspicious to think that they are trying to do this to get out of that lawsuit.
Gotcha.
So that's what I think. But on paper, this is a win. I would much rather get a court win, to tell you the truth, because that would prevent them going back and changing it. Well, it's no ammo shipped and no ammo loaded into the gun is what it says. So what they're worried about is trucks get hot, right? I think they're worried about rounds cooking off.
Yeah, if your truck's getting hot enough to cook off a round.
Or if you're not a drop safety gun and it's on an airplane and it falls off a pallet.
Are you making a SIG P320 joke?
No, I'm saying a non-safe. There's tons of guns out there that's not drop safe. But let's say, like a gun goes off and shoots through the floor of an airplane. That could be a little bit of a problem.
Could be a ventilation issue.
Or shoots one of the crew.
And planes do not explode if the pressure vessel gets punctured.
Of course it does.
That's Hollywood myth.
Of course it does, Rich. I've seen it on the movie, on a documentary called...
And silencers make the gun completely silent. You don't even hear a thing.
I watched the documentary called Air Force One, and it does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I remember Get Smart with the silencers.
Yeah. So it's an interesting case. It's not a case, but an interesting rule. I do think that it's basically to prevent to try to moot the case. Have you seen that? Like Hawaii just did that recently.
Yes. So none of the lawyers can sue for their cost during the case.
Okay. Remo 81A says, so how does USPS know you're shipping at all if they aren't opening your packages or x-raying? And they do both, which is, I don't think that's anything that's unknown, but they do. And the rule says that if you declare that you have a gun, they have the right to say, open up your package. I want to make sure it's not loaded, or have you fill out a piece of paper saying, hey, my headphones are on wrong. All right. Or make you fill out a piece of paper saying that, it's not loaded. But everything gets scanned. Everything that you mail gets scanned through the post office. Every single package, every single piece of mail gets scanned. So my question to you guys out there is, what do you guys think about this? Are you guys going to comment, or are you just going to let it go through? Because this isn't so much, this is more about the process, the comment period. They're not going to walk this back because of the OLC opinion. USPS doesn't have a chance. They have to submit this the way it is.
I don't like it. It seems like it's simple enough, because basically it's like, yes, is it clear? Is it no? Is it not clear? That's basically the comment.
Yep.
It sounds clear enough.
And just to give you guys a little hint before we get out of here about a future project that's coming up, I have been invited to do a podcast with a fellow YouTuber. I'm not going to name who he is. Rich can probably guess, but it deals with guns and watches.
Oh, I know who it is then.
Today I'm wearing my Tag my tag.
Tag Heuer.
Heuer. I don't know why I got tongue tied there. Tag Heuer. This is my automatic chronograph. So yeah, so be on the lookout for that. That should be dropping probably in a month from now. Setting up all the social medias, registering domains, got the and everything else. But yeah, any questions before we get out of here about this?
Nah, simple enough.
It's a victory on paper, but we're gonna have to see what the execution is. I hope the courts don't moot the GOA case because of this. Because what I am concerned about is, let's say a Democrat comes into office, guess what they're gonna do?
They can change the rules because I mean, if it's legal, if there's a legal case, then that makes it cut and steal. You would have to go through the court system to change it. If it's just a simple rule, you can change a rule at a whim. So yeah, I want the win carved in stone.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. But the government does what the government's going to do. And it's a tactic that they've used in multiple cases, not only the federal government, state governments. New York did it in New York State Pistol Rifle Association, New York City. In Teeter, Hawaii, which is a Hawaii case on butterfly knives, they did that. In Utaki, they've done that, and they've always tried to do stuff to moot cases, and I think that is what they're trying to do here. Whether it works or not, it remains to be seen. But so it's on paper, it looks like a victory, but it just depends on how you look at it. But I think we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go live in probably about 45 minutes. 4 o'clock, Rich.
Okay.
And then we're gonna over on Rumble, rumble.com/JohnCrump live, rumble.com/JohnCrump live in 45 minutes, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Mountain, and 1 o'clock Pacific. We're going a little bit early. There's a lunch going on tonight, and I gotta get to confession because I'm a good Catholic.
Well, okay.
And it's Easter. I'm up at Holy Thursday tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be our last podcast for like a week today because got Holy Thursday tomorrow, Good Friday. Saturday, I'm traveling to North Carolina and going to Easter Mass. And then Easter Sunday morning, I am going to jump on a plane and fly to Anchorage.
Yeah, hang out with Chuck, Alaska Ballistics.
Yeah, I'm going to hit him up. Tim Harper, I think birthright citizen case is going to be decided against Trump by a margin of 7-2.
That I was going to ask today. So Trump went to the Supreme Court to sit in. And this is the first time ever a president has done that.
Yes. Well, they do have a chair there for any president.
But nobody's ever.
No one's ever sat in it. But no, that's changed.
And so he's like silent the whole time because I know the only thing you get out of the Supreme Court is audio.
Yeah. But we are going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, I will see you tomorrow. Sorry, this is not a standalone video. Like I said, I recorded the whole thing with no sound. And I started recording it again. I was like, you know what? I don't feel like doing it again.
Gotcha.
So let's just go live. Happy Easter to you, Remo818. And I'll see you guys later. Remember, 1 hour. Actually, less than an hour.
So not Palm Springs Airport is Donald J. Trump Airport. Palm Beach International, PBI, is now going to become DJT.
All right. I got to do 800 Hail Mary. Nice. All right. I'll see you guys. Yeah. Mark Smith didn't beat me out for a Gundy. Masada Aoub.
Oh, again.
Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done.
I'm done.
See you guys later.